Well, hi, my name's Andy. My experiences with Jonathan were not quite as intense or involved or long term as most of you, but I do have a couple good stories. The first time I met Jonathan was in the early '90s, long before I moved to Philadelphia. I was seeing a band at a place in Rochester, New York called Scourges, and the Cyclone Rangers were opening up. And of course, showed up on time, and he came out looking like he just came out of a boxcar in a train or something. He had this sort of weird jeans jacket, Al Jorgensen style hat, and the facial hair. He was like a real rock star, and he came out and said, "Good evening, Rochester. Good evening, Scourges. We're the good old Cyclone Rangers, and we're here to kick your ass." And they did. It was a good show. It lasted about an hour long, and the Reverend played for 3 hours after that. So he might have been feeding off of that energy. Might have just been one of those tours. But my girlfriend at the time really liked him. I didn't. A day didn't go by for the next 7 days where I didn't hear what a real man should look like. So he was her definition. But fast forward to me moving to Philadelphia in '97. Turns out that Jonathan had the same circle of friends that I did, and I re-met him and got a chance to share the story of the good old Cyclone Rangers at Scourges on the Rev Tour, and he enjoyed that. So we never really had a close friendship, but we always had this recognition, this connection from that moment, and just a sort of a throwaway story of just how cool Jonathan could be is there's the Cowtown Rodeo down in Cowtown, New Jersey, and somebody organized it, and Jonathan was driving. I know Colin was with us, and it was me, and if the mystery fourth person is around, raise your hand. I don't know who the mystery fourth person in the car was, but on our way to the Cowtown Rodeo, we stopped at the Burger King, and they had rodeo burgers. And we pulled up, and we started to say our orders, and Jonathan just looked at us and said, "Stop, I got it." So that was that. And you get the little voice through the drive-through. "What can I help you with?" "8 rodeos, please." And she said, "Excuse me?" "8 rodeos, please." 8 rodeo burgers? "Yes." "What would you like on them?" And he went through to read the ingredients: onion rings, onions, barbecue sauce, the whole 9 yards. He read that to her and then said, "And we would like 8 of them, please, for $1 each," which is exactly what they were. And myself, just living in Philadelphia for a little while, then I had just never seen anybody take command of a drive-through quite like that. I'm not going to comment on the quality of the burgers, but man, he ordered them up. So I don't have anything really deep to say, nothing long and involved, just that he seemed like a guy that had a real soft heart beneath that hard exterior, that sort of swagger, which was cool. But you knew that there was a real nice person underneath all that. So that's it for me. Goodbye, John.
That's a couple of tough acts to follow. Whew, I feel like I'm following up for James Brown. Before I trail off on a tangent or lose my train of thought, I want to thank everyone who came out tonight to celebrate the life of our dear friend Jonathan Valania. And an extra special huge thanks to all the amazing people that rose to the occasion and stepped in to support Joanne and help her out, help out John's family through this difficult time. Can you believe this energy here today? Can you feel it? Can you feel the love? You know, I was saying to Holly earlier, my wife Holly, I was saying to her earlier, I really wish this was like a celebrity roast and John was here and we're all talking about him rather than like trying to like celebrate his life. But, I like to think he's looking down now and, he's probably happy with, the crowd that's turned out and the love that's just like radiating out of here. I think he'd be very pleased. For those of you who don't know, my name is Colin Keefe. I met John back in the late 90s when we were both freelancing for the Philadelphia Weekly. It's no exaggeration when I say this, that then and always, he's like the best writer that rag ever bylined. As a young aspiring rock writer, his work was really inspiring to me. I remember reading this piece that he wrote about the John Spencer blues explosion. And it was just like such an amazing piece. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, who wrote this? Like, who is this Valania guy, I don't even like the John Spencer blues explosion. This article is amazing. I got to meet this guy. And then he was writing for the Inquirer at the time, doing like the previews on Friday for concerts that were coming through. So same thing again, he wrote about like Korn. It's like, I despise Korn, but this article is like, oh my God, I want to go see them. John was a great friend. He was always generous, incredibly compassionate. If you ever collaborated with him on anything, he could be a little bullheaded, the most polite way to put it. But it took me a couple of years to figure this out, that when, he would get bossy, like when he was enthusiastic about something, it would usually come through as bossiness. And once you realize that, it was kind of like, all right, I get it. More often than not, he was usually right in the end, when we were disagreeing about something. He was somebody you could always turn to for advice, whether it was on writing, if it was on relationships, style, whatever. He was there. He usually had something to set you straight, and I'm extremely grateful for the times that, he kind of helped me, talked me off the edge. Surely, he left us too soon, and he'll be dearly missed. But, since this is a celebration of his life, let's not mourn his loss so much as, I guess like Elizabeth was saying, he went out on a really, really high note. This guy lived like such a full life. It's like so amazing. Like he crammed into 55 years what the rest of us probably can't do in 100, And he knew that, and he was quite proud of it. And though he was always eager to do more, he was content with the body of work that he had done, and he was happy with his accomplishments and satisfied. He told me as much over dinner one night. It was just before the pandemic. When I texted to him to see if he wanted to join me at my customer's newly opened steakhouse, he shot back almost instantly. May I remind you that my girlfriend's vegetarian? Yes, in all capital letters with exclamation points. It was a really, really great night. It was just the two of us. We hadn't seen each other in a long time. It was great catching up. We talked about everything, He was like totally psyched about this Sin of the Valley of the Sin project that he was working on, and it was about to go in. This was before the pandemic. He was about to go into production like within a couple of weeks. That obviously was set back a couple of months, but he was like totally pumped about that, telling me about that. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that at some point in the night, the conversation got kind of dark. We started talking about like health issues and aging, finances, and ultimately death. You know, and at some point in this like dark phase of this conversation, I lamented the fact that I made poor career decisions when I was younger. And he got like almost like mad, and he snapped back. He's just snapped back. He's like, hell no. If I could go back and do it all over again, I would do everything exactly the same. I'd rather have the experiences I have had in my life than, say, job security or an accumulation of wealth. I wouldn't trade any of it for anything. So, you know, rather than be sad, let's try to keep that in mind, that this guy had this amazingly full life. And, you know, let's just remember all those amazing and crazy and wonderful times we had with him. Peace out, dog.